starting in 1 minute, guys. Every single question we answer is going to get a free Maven 5K. Play this with your friends. We need a lot of questions. All right, perfect. Okay, guys, very special one. Am I blurry? Am I blurry? Check. Okay, cool.
Yeah, all good.
I think I'm a bit blurry today.
Yeah, it was a bit laggy when I got on in the back end, but seems good now, bro.
Hold on. Okay. If I'm blurry, I don't think that's the really important thing here. But guys,
we are absolutely selling off here on the NASDAQ.
Terrible dump today.
We've down 1,000 points today from high to low.
Yeah, super aggressive. This was kind of expected though. After that last week close was so incredibly bearish on Friday, that it's at least going to test those lows again. I'm expecting lower. I don't know. Did you capitalize on this short?
I took one win and one loss, so I'm kind of like a bit down on the day because the loss was slightly bigger. So I mean, it's selling off quite aggressively now. I agree with you. I think that we could have maybe seen this, but yeah, I mean, you're not going to get it right all the time, right? We would love to.
we got pretty lucky today. I could call it luck, but I can also call it skill. We got the long on the open and then the short right.
Oh, brilliant. Nice. Yeah, I got the long on the open and then I tried a long off Asia lows and got smoked.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. The 4-hour close was a key tell for me that it was going to go bearish. That failure right after the open.
We're down 2% right now. Everything stocks. Tesla's down 3%. Yeah, selling off very aggressively.
I'm looking to pick up some nice Bitcoin buys here pretty soon, hopefully.
Yeah, that same level that we bought up at 62K about a couple of months ago, like in Jan, Feb.
Even gold's collapsing. Literally, the market, everything's about the SpaceX IPO that's this Friday. I think some people. Do you think people are selling in order to buy SpaceX IPO?
Possibly. I mean, I got some early access to SpaceX IPO via on-chain. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, actually.
Oh, you got the pre-thing with.
Yeah, because they gave it to like some VIP clients via like a crypto exchange, which was pretty cool.
Ooh, VIP. All right. Wow.
Yeah.
We're gonna
only for South Africans.
Just for South Africans, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. VIP.
Yeah, because Elon's South African. You see why?
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. That would be really funny. Just give it back to home, allow them to all capitalize on it first and then get dumped on. Exactly. Guys, very special episode. We're going to do Q&A. We're just doing questions mostly. We had a little bit of banter there, but started off the first 5K account. We're going to give away a 5K account for every single question that we answer. I've already got one queued up here. What separates profitable traders from losing traders? That's from Mohammed. James, what's your thought?
I think it's the ability to bounce back from losses, personally. I think profitable traders know that you're going to have losing periods even sometimes, unlike social media. So I think it's ability to bounce back from losses, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent answer, right? Because in theory, everyone could be profitable, right? You could just buy and hold, right? Or you could do very long-term, like trading Bitcoin is probably the easiest thing in the world, right? So what's the difference between you at home, beating yourself up over these losses versus a Bitcoin trader that, okay, you know, they buy, hold, they sell the top of market cycles on their weight, right?
Yeah. No, I don't think it's I don't think it's technical analysis. That's what I'm sure of. You know?
Yeah. That's a really interesting thing because everyone I know, all these traders, you're always like, what's your strategy? What time frame are you on? You know, oh, can you explain the setup? You know what I mean? Those are all the questions. Nobody ever asks anything to do with, you know, how do you feel? You know,
I understand like maybe wanting to understand the setup, why you took it, but everyone's got their own reasons, you know? So
yeah, that's a pretty solid answer. Actually, there was one time somebody commented on my stream actually, and they said, Hunter, how are you so chill? Right.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And it's like the trade was like going whatever, right? I don't know if it was up or down.
Or something, whatever.
And I wasn't even looking at it.
Sure.
And they're like, why do you not care? Right. And I think it's that, you know, literally what you're saying, bounce back from loss. It doesn't matter what happens on the trade.
Yeah.
That trade is absolutely useless. It does not matter at all.
You should already know also, like when you take a trade, you should also know what the worst case scenario is. For example, if I take a trade, like today, I took a trade of across 2 accounts. I knew the worst case scenario is I can lose 4K across both accounts because I put 2% risk on both accounts. So, you know, which I hit, I lost it. So, you know, it shouldn't really bother you because it's like, you know, when you let's go back to your reference when you're at the casino. It's not like you put down the money for a blackjack hand and you're able to add more in mid hand. You know what I'm saying? You already know what you're going to lose when you put the bet down. That would be
a fun casino.
It would. Okay, after you've seen your first card, you can decide to put more in or not. Yeah.
Yeah, you can double down. You know, throughout the add more to the bet. You know. Like I'm just trying to picture like what would be a blackjack setup where, you know, you can increase your stop loss. You know what I mean? Like if you're losing, you can double down.
Sure.
You know, I'll just lose twice as much as okay in order to make back that first one. You know what I mean? Because that's what people do is they DCA.
Yes.
Right. Oh, I'll just double down so I can get back to break even. Oh, but just bring me back to break even, right? And then they just keep DCAing until they've lost everything. I think that's Martingale, huh?
Yeah, I think it's similar to Martingale, 100%. Let's see what other good questions here.
Yeah, so congratulations to Mohammed. You're the first winner. What I'm going to do, just so you guys understand, we're going to ask questions. I'm creating a list in the back end here. And in the Maven Discord, discord.gg/Maven or /Maven, I don't know. You will go into there and I will post them all. And then at the end of the stream, you can go collect your 5K. Okay. So every single person that we answer, 5K.
I got a good question for you, Hunter. I think this is more prop firm focused. So I think this is more for you. I think it's actually quite a good question. What separates prop firms that will be around in 10 years from those that may disappear in a few?
Yeah. Well, we already have answers to this, right? Is prop firm space has been big for 4 years. Okay. Maven got in right before the big boom. Relatively pretty luckily timing, right? We kind of just, you know, the people that came 6 months after us really struggled. So we got pretty lucky with that.
Sure.
But the reality is you guys see prop firms come in 6 months later, they blow up, right? Fast track funding, 6 months. And it's always 6 months to a year, right? That's about as long as it can last before you have to figure out your finances correctly.
Yeah, and you don't have cash flow and stuff like that.
So there's two major things that make prop firms go under. One is a unsustainable product that you have to have a growth only model. So it's basically a Ponzi scheme, whether they're doing it directly or not. They could just be dumb and accidentally make a Ponzi scheme. And that means you have to have new buyers each month in order to pay your previous month's buyers. So your product is unsustainable, but you're growing at such a fast rate that it doesn't matter until one brick falls and then everything collapses because you can't make all those payouts and you shut down. Okay.
Sure.
So a lot of people do that. That's the most common way. The other way is variance issues, right? So if you don't manage your risk, there's a reason why prop firms have max payouts, right? You can't make more than 10K in a payout, different consistency rules and things like this. Because if they have insane variance month over, like between months, they might not have a big enough vault in order to make those payouts. And once you stop making payouts to somebody 1 month, then your reputation is destroyed, and thus results in something like that. This also includes variance in vendors, right? So you have to have backups. Maven was notorious back in the day of having backups on backups, right? We would have 3 different payment providers just waiting on the sidelines in case something went wrong with one of them, right? We would have different trading terminals, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's something actually that many people don't speak about is payment providers can just stop and then your money's tied up.
Yeah. And you're locked for about 6 months. If one of your payment providers shuts you down, PayPal, Stripe, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
You have about 6 months before you get that money because they have to do the vetting and all this jazz, right? And
that's actually pretty crazy when you actually think about it.
The one of the biggest things that I love this that Maven was actually able to do was we were the only firm that when MetaQuotes went down, we had a secondary trading terminal set up within the same day, right? We had already set up Match Trader because we were expecting problems, right? And every other firm had to put pauses on operations, and we just flipped a switch, literally.
Yep.
Because 1 month prior, we saw problems coming in. So I went looking for another trading terminal, and I found Match Trader, and we set it up. I think it was January 2024, something like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Or 2023 or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, good question. Just post that. Post that.
Yeah, I took a screenshot of that. Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Cool. Yeah, good questions so far, guys.
Let's see some. You get one now, Hunter.
Yeah,
that was actually a good question.
Yeah. I'm wondering what's going to happen with this market now that we're back to the previous week lows.
We're back to Monday's open price.
There's just so much volume coming in on that dump that there's no way that that's going to be able to be bought up there like safely, right? There's no way somebody's sitting there saying this is a good buy opportunity. You know what I mean? You can't possibly be doing that.
No, 100%.
Yeah, Maven's great. I'm hearing. Yeah, good.
Getting this over to, but let's have a look here.
There's so many questions coming in. It's good flood of viewers here.
Well, here you go. What trading mistakes cause most traders to fail funded accounts? Let's screenshot that. What would you, in your opinion?
Trading mistakes. What trading mistakes cause traders to lose their funded accounts? So why are we specifying funded accounts? First of all, I'm wondering to lose their funded accounts.
Any account or prop firm accounts, maybe.
Yeah, maybe just any challenge.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing that separates, prop trading from personal fund trading in my mind is you have to manage both your drawdown risk and your target risk, right?
Sure.
So what I mean by that is pretty much every firm has some sort of limit to how much you can make in a day, whether it's a consistency score or a flat target or payout cap or minimum profitable days, right? This is what I just said with variance, but that keeps the firm alive long term, right? We have to have those things. And if we don't, the firm will go under eventually, right?
Sure.
So with that, you have to manage both the upper and lower side, right? So you can't make too much and you can't lose too much each day, right? With personal funds, you can do whatever you want, right? So that's the biggest difference in my mind of how I personally trade. And I don't think people pay attention to this. They just trade as if they would normally be trading on a personal account, right? And they just trade until there's a problem, right? So they're not pre-planning, right? There's a lot more planning that's involved with prop trading, and for a good reason. You're managing larger capital, right?
Yeah, you got more drawdown room than you would on a personal account for most traders. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any other sort of?
I would say just over trading, bro. That's probably what I'd say. Maybe taking just too many trades in a day. If you up 1% on a prop firm account in the day, it could on 100K, it could be $1,000, which is great money. For a lot of people.
Oh, interesting. This is an interesting question here. Phantom edits, right? If your younger self watched your trading journey today, what part would surprise them most? What an interesting question. I like these questions that are not just like
trading related,
super like dead on, like, you know, strategy talk, and because it's a bit different, you know. Your younger self, bro. So back in your days of rugby.
Yeah.
He's rugby James is watching Trader James.
when I had hair. For me personally, I think I would have, you know, I knew I would be here one day, because I even actually, funny thing, I actually was looking at some photos the other day. My wife at the time, I said, take a photo of me now at this old shagged out laptop. And I was like, just take a photo of me now, because like in 10 years time, I'm going to be making a career, like a living from this. And so I knew I'd get here at some point. Obviously, it's a lot of ups and downs and roller coasters. But I think the main thing that I think I would be happy about is the way that I deal with adversity. You know, like not every single trading period is going to be great. I've had a good start to the year, but it's not always going to be, you know, sunshine and rainbows. So just dealing with adversity and you know, pushing through. So I think that's what I'd probably be like most proud about my younger self, my rugby games. But I did learn that from the rugby days, you know, from professional sports. You're not going to win every single game either.
Yeah. That's actually an interesting one, because playing games is very much probably like trading.
Yeah.
You know, on average, you're doing well, but you can't win every single one. Even the Patriots don't win every single game.
No, even the Patriots on their 16-0 season, they lost in the final in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly. So, the only game that mattered, right?
The only game that matters, they gooned it.
Yeah. I have an interesting thought of that too. Is, you know, if I picture my younger self was, you know, I was a gym bro. I was whoa, like hyped up all the time, jumping, bouncing off the walls, screaming, blasting music, and, you know, and just was crazy energy. So I think there's two parts to this. One would be, I'm still kind of crazy, but like one would be much more calmer. Like I'm not jumping around anymore so much, right? But the interesting thing that would surprise me, because the question was what would surprise you the most, is how little I try to take control over things at this point, right? Like how much trust I have in that God or the universe or the plan will just play out, right? Like before, you know, when you're young, you try to control everything. You try to, this is the life I want. I'm going to create it. I'm going to do everything. And you're trying to force everything. But like literally now it's like, I sit down and look at and I just trust that things will work. Right.
Yep.
And I just don't care. You know what I mean? And that is a completely different shift from a younger self. Right. Interesting.
Yeah. Question. I mean, that's actually a fair point. You know, like when you are wanting to just control everything, it's funny how things, when you just chill and you let things just happen, it actually takes care of itself. You know, there's actually, remember that saying, like 90%, 99% of the things you worry about don't even happen.
Yeah. So why worry?
Why are we worrying?
Yeah. And if it does happen, then, you know, it's already set in stone, right? Something like that.
Yeah. Let's see, some more.
Is an interesting question. Okay, what was the biggest challenge you faced while building the prop firm? Okay, so we could also ask this about, you know, building your for you. We can say, hey, for building your brand, right?
Sure. What was the biggest? What
was the biggest challenge you faced while building your brand?
Probably trying to get eyes on me, because I don't flash like this fancy lifestyle of you know, cars and stuff like that. But I think what I've done is I've built like over the years because I've been trading for 9 years now. I've only been sharing content for like 4. But I think in the time that I have done it, I've tried to do it in the most authentic way that I am, like the same way that I'm. And you've met me in person, Hunter. The same way that I am on screen is the same way that I am in person.
You're hilarious in person. You're even funnier in person, dude.
Yeah.
He high fives you. You high five every 5 minutes, and it's always worthy too. You know what I mean? Like it's like you'll make a joke and you'll be like, "Dab me up," right?
Dab me up
every time. It's like that was good. That was a good joke. That was a good joke. Every 5 minutes, dude.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I love a high five after a joke. Dap me up after the good chuckle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's was the most. That's funny, dude. That's actually hilarious that you've noticed that, because all my friends say, "Dude, fucking stop high fiving me, bro." Like
I imagine if I see you every single day, I'll be like, "Holy, like that's a lot of germs being transferred."
Yeah, your hand will be sore at the end of it. But no, I think that that's probably the most challenging thing, is like trying to get eyes on me. But then I've realized that I'd rather have the right people watching me than people that are just looking to be entertained, I guess.
Yeah, smart perspective shift, right? And for my own building the prop firm, I think we kind of answered it. Is you never know, like early days of prop firm, you never knew what was going to happen. You're trying to string shit together as it comes, and every single day was absolute chaos, and you have to grind your ass off, and you don't know what's going to collapse.
I remember the one time where, what was the thing when like Bitcoin or something like that, or gold over the weekend, spreads went crazy or something like that, and people were like arbitraging. I remember you told that story or something like that.
There's been firms where they forgot to add a spread, right?
Oh,
and then my Flash funding, he went down in 3 days because he switched over to Mash. He didn't add a spread on Bitcoin, and then people were arbitraging Bitcoin, right? So it was literally like zero spread, right? Jeez. So people were just arbing it like back and forth, and all these people, and if he was smarter back in the day, he probably would have just got these guys to reevaluate or something and say, hey,
like say, okay, change start the challenge again or whatever it is.
Because that's not trading honestly, and that shouldn't be allowed. I got another question here I'm super excited about answering here actually. Is if you were mentoring one trader for a year and your compensation depended on their success, this is a fucking sick question. This might be one of the best questions, dude. I'll give this guy a 10K. Give this guy a bigger account. This is a sick question.
Sure.
What would be the first habit you'd force him to build?
That's actually and your compensation depending on their success.
You make no money on that year unless they make money.
That's actually a sick new trading thing. I'm gonna start all my traders that come in, I take a percentage of your profits.
Yeah, you know what? It's like you don't pay for my course unless you make money after 3 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or like but then for the next 2 years, every single payout from a prop firm you get, I take like 10%.
extra commission.
Set up a contract. That's a sick question. The first thing I would make them do is put in a max daily loss. That's the first and foremost thing that I'd make the new trader do, or the trader that I'm coaching. That's because I see it too many times, Hunter, where, and this used to be me back in the day, where you'd have like 3 or 4 good days in the week, say up to Thursday, you'd be up 500, and then on Friday lose 700, and then you're down on the week, but you've actually won 4 days in the week. So max daily loss. For sure.
That's good. It's all things to do with consistency, right? Because consistency is what makes you money, right? It's not your big winning days, and it's a whole year that we have to be consistent for. So your max daily loss makes a lot of sense, because you don't want to go on losing streaks, right? Correct. I would also maybe advise like a max weekly loss too, because maybe they multiple.
True.
They need a weekend break or something, right?
Yeah.
But some sort of loss control prevention, right?
Yeah.
What's coming to my mind, because like obviously I have experience with this too, is when I'm consistent in my life, right? I'm consistent with the charts. Okay. I'll go on, vacations, and then you're inconsistent, right?
Yeah.
Or, you stay up late, or you go to a concert, something like this, right? And the next few days, you're sleeping in, you're not consistent, you're not eating your healthy foods or whatever, right? So the habit I would start them with is you have to have a very strict schedule. This is your sleep time, this is your wake up time, right? You trade for 1 hour only, right? If you don't, like, it has to be incredibly military strict, right?
Sure.
This is your gym time, and
this is when you're going to gym. This is when you're trading.
Yeah.
Every
single day is the exact same. Weekends, you don't get them, right? Weekends, you get them. You know what I mean? You're not trading on weekends, but you're not going and have fun, right? That's if you want to really lock in. This is a fucking sick question too. If you want to really lock in, do the exact same thing every fucking day, right?
Sure.
You and you know and have a balance throughout that, right? And then ultimately, then you can start working on trading, right? After you've locked in that habit, right?
Sure. Cool. That's actually that was a sick question.
Yeah. What else would you? Is there anything else that's coming to your mind?
That not at the moment. I think that's routines, and then like probably having like a max amount of trades you can take in a day, or max daily losses. Probably where I would first 100% first start them out.
It's interesting. Yours is all about risk control. Mine's all about being a disciplined person in everything. Right. And I think both of those in conjunction would make a very good trader.
100%. When I'm trading in my base, I've got my risk dialed in on the charts, but then also like a routine in the whole really, really solid.
Yeah.
Let's have a look here.
Inappropriate questions here. Somebody yeah, I'm not sure I can say that word on stream here. It's a simple question here. What suggestions or recommendations for a beginner to start learning himself? Okay.
What recommendations? Or
where would you start as a beginner?
I'd probably start out learning one strategy with one way of doing things, trade one asset, one session, and one way of doing it. That's personally how I start. So it's very similar to how you do it, Hunter.
Yeah.
You trade NQ in the New York session, and you do that every single day. I think when traders try and jump between different things, they're going to day trade, and they're going to swing trade, and then they're trading they're trading currencies, indexes, stocks, whatever they are doing. New trader, I'll start with one way of doing things. Let's master one way, and then you can maybe look at doing like a swing trading style or something like that. But I'd very much start them off doing one way, one session, one asset.
One. Just make it as simple as possible. And the strategy I would honestly probably start with, if you're trying to think like where should you start. With strategy, I would probably just start with like moving average sort of stuff.
Yeah, right? Moving averages or simple support and resistance zones. Nothing too overcomplicated.
Yeah, because more or less that style of trading works, and it's easy to understand, right? More or less it works. I don't think it really works very well. Like you're not going to make 10K a day sort of doing that, but you are going to be able to invest in the market and follow the trends and understand how trend works.
It's also easy to use, like a moving average. You go, okay, buy when it's above, sell when it's below,
Yeah, exactly. Guys, that's our time. Right on the dot. James has got to get going. Did you want to do one more question? Anything eager?
We can do one. Let's do one last question. And then
you want to pick it?
Yeah. Let's have a look here. Let's see. Post your questions, guys. 30 seconds. We'll see what's in the chat here.
Yeah, last question for the 5K. We have so many accounts to give away here.
I know.
That's a decent one. Do you want to do this one?
Okay, let's see.
What advice sounds good but is actually harmful to your profession? It's a little bit of a thinker because I'm trying to think of something.
It's what advice sounds good, but it's actually harmful to your profession. More is better. I would say that. More is better. More, a lot of people are trying to say you need to be, it depends where you are. I'm 9 years into trading. More, you got to back test, you got to do this and that, and like be on the charts all day, every single day. I don't think so. There's a lot more to trading, as you mentioned earlier, like a whole roundness of a person, the gym schedule, no going out late, go to bed on time, get some sleep.
Yeah.
So like, instead of trying to do more in terms of trading more, back testing more, because I knew this one guy that used to back test every single time. He would have like this insane stats, and then when you'll do it to the live market, he couldn't make money. And I'm like, because you're doing too much, bro. You're like so tired. So by the time you come to the trading session, your brain's just fried. So for me, trying to overdo everything. You actually don't need more. You actually need more time off the desk to be able to perform on it.
Yeah. I think that's the correct answer. Yeah. You nailed it. you shouldn't be doing anything as a trader. Your goal is not to work, right? That's why you want to trade.
It sounds scammy, but like you want to make as much money in a short amount of time as possible.
Yeah, you want to chill. You want to chill.
Yeah,
guys, that's our time. Join Maven discord.gg/Maven in order to see all the winners here. Every single person is going to get a 5K account. And for that we answered questions for every single person that I post in there. Okay.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week, and we're going to bring guests on again next week. We're not about a month here without any guests, but we're going to start bringing some guests on. Okay. Okay. Thanks, James. Thanks.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.